Portsmouth, where exactly? Fort Shirley Cabritz National Park.
So tell us again what's on the lineup.
The lineup for this year, a lineup that you do not want to miss. From Jamaica, we have Taurus Riley with the Black Soil Band and Dean Fraser out of Jamaica. From the United States, we have the Manhattans. And from Dominica, Mikel Henderson, Lily Octave, Khadijah Joseph, Firelanda, Janet Jackson, Rhythm Knockers Band, and Swinging Stars. And there's one other person that will be joining the artist on the main stage. Why? We had a contest recently, and one person won that contest. So later today or tomorrow, you will learn who that other person is taking it to the main stage.
So tomorrow you'll find out.
That's correct.
Was there a competition to find out who?
Yes, there was a competition. So what happened? Individuals were charged to take a video of themselves singing in front of a natural site in Dominica. They were to tag and discover at the Dominica festivals on Facebook or Instagram, and the person with the most verified likes, they win. But they win a chance to perform on the main stage, and they will be treated like we treat every other artist on the main stage that's performing for a major event. So think they'll be in the artist area, they get their food, their drink, if they want to have the entourage, or the case may be, all that excitement as well. So there's someone special that is going to have that experience for Jazz and Creole this year.
What do you think is significantly different with this year's Jazz Festival?
What I think different is, for one, the theme. So the theme is different this year. So this year's theme is Afro elegance. So people are encouraged to wear something African inspired to the Jazz and Creole experience this year. So that is one that is different. Two, the lineup is different. Every year we feature different artists. Local is something that we ensure that we push. It's important to give all local artists an opportunity to perform on the main stage. So that is consistent throughout, yes. But there's always different artists, local acts performing on the main stage, as well as the international and regional artists. And the third is the whole atmosphere when you get there. With the theme Afro elegance, you're going to walk into, African inspired themes and the lights throughout the entire space. In addition, we do have several sponsors on board this year, and they have different activations at their booth. And what I learned is that some of them will give us the opportunity to win things and to get discounts at their venues. So this is pretty exciting and different for this year. But we're keeping certain things, such as the shuttle service, so people can experience that ease of access to and from the venue. But you didn't ask me about that, but yeah, that.
But in terms of, I'll trying to get a question, you get me lost there, but I'll come back to that. In terms of, do you know exactly when this artist will be performing? Because some people want to know. Would you know that, or is that a surprise?
Oh, the artist time, we never release the schedule ahead of the event or even on the day of the event. You are encouraged to come early and enjoy the entire experience. Think, if we told you Manhattans were performing at 7 p.m., you will come sometime after 6 minutes to 7 just for the Manhattans. But we want you to enjoy the entire Jazz and Creole experience. We want you to come through the main space, or rather at the bottom of the Cabritz Cruise Ship berth. We want to take pictures because there's photo areas there. We want you to enjoy entertainment there as well. We want you to enjoy the shuttle service experience. We also want you to interact with the entire venue. There's lots of things to do and to experience at Jazz and Creole this year.
Oh boy, it looks like a super, 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 super event there this year. So you have to get there early, I suspect.
That is correct. You are encouraged to get there early. Our shuttle service, it starts from 1 p.m. 1 p.m. on the day of Jazz and Creole, and the different locations where you can get your shuttle service to get to Jazz and Creole. One at the Glamjulia Playing Field, others Borough Square, Portsmouth Market, the Tartan Stretch, and the Moroccan Hotel as well. These are the different options or different locations where you can get a shuttle service to meet us at Jazz and Creole at Fort Shirley Cabrits National Park. So you can come for one, you can come before that. You're welcome to come early. If you want to walk with your chair, that's fine. If you want to sit on the grass, you don't want to walk with something, that is fine. That option is available as well. If you want an elevated experience, there's VIP for that as well, or rather for you as well.
But tell me about, some people still wonder about accommodation this weekend.
So you are encouraged to book your accommodations in the north for the entire Jazz and Creole experience. Keep in mind, Portsmouth, Picard, we do have lots of accommodations, but they are filling up very quickly. In addition to being in Portsmouth, Picard area, there's Granville and other communities around Portsmouth or in the north that you can book for the Jazz and Creole experience. Again, you are encouraged to book early as today to get your space secured for Jazz and Creole. If you don't get a spot, you don't get a place to stay, keep in mind we do have different taxis in Portsmouth. We do have a bus system or bus service in Portsmouth that can move you around the community, back to Roseau, or wherever the case may be.
You know, people are still asking me on this last minute, what about the prices of the tickets? Are there any specials still available?
We do have fringe events that, or rather, we do have specials for this week for Jazz and Creole tickets. You can get tickets for as low as 175 EC dollars. Keep in mind, tickets are 200 EC dollars general admission. But this week, you have the opportunity to get your tickets for 175 general admission from tomorrow, where we're at the Realm from 7 p.m. at Jazz in the City. On the 29th, we're at Jazz on the 4th at Fortune Hotel from 6 p.m. On the 30th, Jazz and Cocktail at Alias Fortes from 6:30 p.m. On May 1st, that is the weekend of Jazz and Creole, we are at Jazz Under the Stars at Borough Square in Portsmouth from 7 p.m. On May 2nd, the day before Jazz and Creole, we're in Bonn for Jazz and Arts in Paradise from midday, 12 p.m. And we're also at Jazz on the Beach at Purple Turtle from 7 p.m. on May 3rd. These are the opportunities where you can get, or rather the events, where you can get your tickets for as low as 175 EC dollars. Otherwise, your tickets, general admission, 200 EC dollars, VIP, 450. If you have children ages 12 to 17, 75 EC dollars. And if they're under 12, they enter the venue for free.
I'll tell you what, we're going to take a little Taurus, Riley, and we'll come back for your closing comments here. Stick around. We're talking jazz. Stick around. He'll be at the festival.
I'm a Superman, a pencil Lois Lane. It's the way my ride when I went insane. Here comes the dance when I lost my name. Ooh, it's something I'm looking for. Everyone is wondering what's the change. They don't recognize I have so much to say. And I never thought someone would love someone so much that I'd give up on everything. You know, I will be there when you need me. I will be there when you're crying, baby. I will be there when you need someone to tell you.
It's Jazz and Creole season, and the Dominica National Lottery is giving you a chance to win cash and tickets. Purchase any of our $5 Instacash games, and if you are not a winner, write your name and number on the back of the ticket and place it in the box provided at our main office or Blast Entertainment Center, Ellis Outlet in Portersville or Geno's Mall in Portsmouth. Promotion runs from April 7th to May 1st, 2026. Don't be left out. You could be part of Jazz and Creole Afro Elegance. Play Instacash. Win instantly. Indulge in an evening of timeless elegance at Jazz and Wine on the Rooftop, where elegance meets the skyline. On April 29th from 4:30 p.m. Join us at the Blast Bistro Rooftop and elevate the evening away for an atmosphere where smooth jazz, fine wines, and exquisite cuisine come together under the open sky. Fine wine, smooth jazz, perfect vibes. Experience live entertainment, Elevated flavors and effortless sophistication. Unwind above it all. Jazz and wine on the rooftop. Brought to you by Blast Bistro and Pirates Limited. An experience to savor.
Mm-hmm. That is jazz. Dean Fraser on the lineup. I know you want to stay all afternoon, Monel. Time to go. Time to go. Are you there?
I'm here with you. It's time to go and get our tickets for Jazz and Creole definitely because we want to ensure we are part of that experience. And just a gentle reminder where you can get your tickets. Think online, ease of comfort, dominicafestivals.com. If you're in Roseau, you can head over to our office on Great Marlborough Street. We're at the former Mapping Building, Discover Dominica Authority's office. Defense Color Lab in Roseau as well. If you're in Goodwill, Bullseye Pharmacy, and for those of you in the North, Portsmouth to be exact, Water's Edge, you can get your tickets there.
So we'll talk again tomorrow. Thank you for joining us.
Definitely, and thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'll see you and everyone on the Mayfair Jazz and Creole Hour event. Yes?
There's a little bit of Dean Fraser. He'll appear there this weekend.
It's Jazz and Creole season, and the Dominica National Lottery is giving you a chance to win cash and tickets. Purchase any of our $5 Instacash games, and if you are not a winner, write your name and number on the back of the ticket and place it in the box provided at our main office or Blast Entertainment Center, Ellis Outlet in Portersville or Geno's Mall in Portsmouth. Promotion runs from April 7th to May 1st, 2026. Don't be left out. You could be part of Jazz and Creole Afro Elegance. Play Instacash. Win instantly. Indulge in an evening of timeless elegance at Jazz and Wine on the Rooftop, where elegance meets the skyline. On April 29th from 4:30 p.m. Join us at the Blast Bistro Rooftop and elevate an evening away for an atmosphere where smooth jazz, fine wines, and exquisite cuisine come together under the open sky. Fine wine, smooth jazz, perfect vibes. Experience live entertainment, elevated flavors, and effortless sophistication. Unwind above it all. Jazz and wine on the rooftop. Brought to you by Blast Bistro and Pirates Limited. An experience to savor.
Creole Handmade features members of Poetry and Jazz Cocktail on Friday, May 1st, 2026 at 10:45 a.m. on Q95 FM, the big station. Special guests include Derek Rapidas, Severin McKenzie, and Elzo Freeblatt, the son of Edward Oliver Blatt, Dominica's last chief minister and first premier. The discussion will be surrounded around the recently published book, Fragments of the Dawn, a collection of poems written by the late father of the nation, E.O. Libla, whose words resonated with the soul of Whitey Cooley. A glimpse of the genius of this Dominican hero, E.O. Libla, hosted by Ambassador Prince Walex, and will also be live on Q95 Facebook page and YouTube channel. This Friday, May 1st, 2026 at 10:45 a.m. on the big station Q95 FM. Ron McKenzie, Elzo Libla, the son of Edward Oliver Libla. Manchester Creole 100, the cultural pulse of the nation.
This is our 12th Global View on Q show for 2026, and we continue to engage with our local, regional, and global Q family listeners and friends of Dominica. I'm Sheridan Gregoire, Mr. G. With me is my co-host Justice Irving Andre, former CSA General Secretary Alvin Thomas, social scientist Simeon Joseph, former Dominica UN Ambassador Crispin Gregoire, and political scientist Alex Bruno. We turn our attention to chasing Dominica's missing billions and examining down the road the merits of collaborative governance, or a government of national unity, or a government based on proportional representation in the face of an electoral commission registration and confirmation process that is glaringly inefficient. Here are some talking points. Where have all the billions from the CBI program gone? How do we recover Dominica's billions that may be hidden in mysterious accounts? And what legal tools exist to repatriate Dominica's missing wealth? How can we use conscripted foreign entities to help Dominica recover and repatriate its looted wealth? How do we stop kickbacks paid to unscrupulous politicians? Why is Hayden's company taking Dominica to court? And why is a Trump company daring to sell Dominica's passports? Why did a Canadian couple in Soufrière have to die because they and their clients were using a road Dominicans have used for decades? And why did the IMF country report on Dominica warn us about fiscal responsibility concerns? Now, with all this recent talk about political divisiveness and collaborative party politics, would Dominica be better off down the road with a government made up of collaborating political parties, with a government of national unity, or with a system of proportional representation rather than the current winner-take-all parliamentary system we inherited from the British Westminster model? For example, someone who represents a constituency of, say, 7,000 electors in a community of 9,000 residents versus someone who represents a constituency of 700 electors in a community of just 1,000 residents. Is that a reflection of a true balance in Parliament? What about allowing for securing the best and diverse human capital among our politicians to govern? Would a collaboration of parties system, including independents, best deliver government of the people, by the people, and for the people? We have had a semblance of a coalition government when the Freedom Party joined with Rosie Douglas' Labour Party after the 2000 general election, and Lauren Barnes Roberts subsequently crossed the floor from the UWP to join the Labour Party. And thereafter, Julius Timothy and more recently Joseph Isaac followed suit. How did that work out? And finally, will we succeed in getting all eligible Dominicans truly registered and confirmed by October 2026, considering that the current registration and confirmation process is so grossly inefficient? So we look forward to the contributions of Justice Dr. Irving Andre, former CSA General Secretary Alvin Thomas, social scientist Simeon Joseph, former Dominica UN Ambassador Crispin Gregoire, and political scientist Alex Bruno on the topic Chasing Dominica's Billions and examining the merits of collaborative governance, or a government of national unity, or a government based on proportional representation down the road in the face of an electoral commission registration and confirmation process that is glaringly inefficient. Join us Tuesday night for more on the Global View on Q.
There is something around me, and the children see all oppression will be down, and the people will rise up.
We're at the different phases in life. We move at a different pace. All we need is to be supported. When the baby's coming, business needs revamping, the new job started, and you need an outfit. Let momentum hook you up. Let momentum will hook you up. The wedding's planning, rent due date's coming. Momentum is your support financing. Let momentum hook you up. Momentum will hook you up.
Take advantage of NCCU's Momentum Loan and get the support you need for whatever stage you are in life with a tiered interest rate and exclusive emergency fund component. Let NCCU's momentum. QR call 255-2126. Email membercare@nccudominica.com or visit any NCCU location for more details. Your face, your pace, our support.
Let the rhythm inspire you at the St. Lucia Jazz and Arts Festival 2026. Pure Jazz. Tuesday, 5th May at the Pavilion in Rodney Bay. We lead with Grammy winner, virtuoso bassist, and vocalist Esperanza Spalding.
All you, I just meet Goldwyn in Roseau again. Same place outside Flossies. I tried to dock him, but he had time see me. Where? Story start again. Million, lot of my power with us, huh? Fella, I said the same thing you doing, shopping at Flossies, and you don't have to tell me the same thing you tell me last time because I'm busy. It's to hear him way. You reckon? About my pocket, boy. I won't tell you that I save money in food and drinks when I buy quantity. I save more. Oh, shucks, man. Good when you're still telling me. I know already. To park I expect him, why? But at Kadima Pepper Palais, I will tell all my friends from London, US and Dominica to come to Floss's, right next to the Rosa Market. Open Sunday to Saturday. Floss's can't do it to you.
Big news, Dominica! DeWitt Center is now even closer to you with the opening of DeWitt Center Express, conveniently located on Cork Street, right next to Fresh Market. Get all your home improvement essentials fast with everything from tools and paints to home decor and more. Plus, enjoy the same great service you know and trust. Now, just a quick stop in the city. Visit us today at DeWitt Center Express, your partner in home improvement, now closer than ever.
I see Goldwyn shopping for farming supplies, so I ask him, what are you doing inside Bloombox? Do you have a farm? He tell me, that's how tell sort. I've been married 37 years, look at my money farm. He say, no, not woman, like land for farming crops. And then he understand, Bloombox is the most affordable on island. Knapsacks starting at only $57.71. Elsewhere, it's $300 plus. Cutlass seeds, seeding trays, nursery pots, sales of potting mix, all at way better prices than anywhere else. Fertilizers, 3-in-1 multi-tool, and so much more. Located on Federation Drive, Goodwill. Second property on the right after the Valley Link Road and on the corner of Drury Lane and Hanover Street in Roseau. Bloombox. Let's bloom together.
A fresh market. When money don't come, then the money that you. A fresh market. Fresh market. We are open 7 days a week with the top of the line products. Well stocked supermarket and pharmacy, health and beauty care, fresh produce and meats prepared daily, hot and cold kitchen, ready to go meals, sandwiches, salads, and desserts at your fingertips. Easy access, located on the bayfront, environment friendly, and our staff are approachable and ready to assist. Have you figured out who we are? You got it. Fresh market. Your one stop. Fresh market, fresh market,
I see Goldwyn shopping for farming supplies, so I ask him, what are you doing inside Bloombox? Do you have a farm? He tell me, that's how tell sort. I've been married 37 years, look at my money farm. He say, no, not woman, like land for farming crops. And then he understand, Bloombox is the most affordable on island. Knapsacks starting at only $57.71. Elsewhere, it's $300 plus. Cutlass seeds, seeding trays, nursery pots, sales of potting mix, all at way better prices than anywhere else. Fertilizers, 3-in-1 multi-tool, and so much more. Located on Federation Drive, Goodwill. Second property on the right after the Valley Link Road and on the corner of Drury Lane and Hanover Street in Roseau. Bloombox. Let's bloom together.
Hey, good afternoon to you, Dominica. This is the Talk on the Block, and of course, this morning we're hearing voices from the Northeast, especially the Kalinago territory. Well, I'll be heading there in a minute with some follow-ups. You know, we're experiencing some serious rain yesterday, late Saturday night into Sunday, which resulted in some major landslides, which destroyed some homes, washed away bridges, and left some people homeless. Of course, I'll be spending some time there after 2 o'clock. So I'm going to play for you at this time, some voices we heard this morning speaking to the issue, starting with the Prime Minister and others. I'll be giving you a further report tomorrow morning. But listen to some of the voices we heard on this disaster. Starting with the Prime Minister of Dominica.
I really want to salute all Dominicans, particularly residents of the Eastern Districts, from West back to Castle Bruce and the surrounding communities who were battered today by this weather system. I was out there, as you know, and I saw the resilience and determination of our people. I want to say this evening, Dominicans shall prevail. We have walked this road before. We have fought and triumphed over adversity, and we shall do it again this time around. This evening, I want to say that no matter how challenging and daunting your experience was today, it could have been worse. We got a hard knock, but it could have been worse. I have called a special meeting of cabinet for this evening because we intend to hit the road tomorrow morning running. I've already spoken to our regional international partners, and I want to say to those severely impacted by this weather system, your government is on the job. We shall visit, we shall assess, and we shall assist. This evening, I want to appeal to neighbors to be neighbors. Don't wait for a call. Don't wait for someone to come knocking. If you see someone in distress, or if you see a dangerous situation developing, jump in and lend a helping hand. Open your doors to your neighbors. Open your yard to your neighbors' animals. Be a good neighbor this evening and for the next few days, and give us an opportunity to assess conditions and formulate a response mechanism. This evening, I want also to salute our public officers, especially those in ministries responsible for roads and drainage, as well as utilities, water and electricity, and also to the power-ups concerned, from Wesley to Marigot to the Calnago Terrace Albert, and of course, the Castle Bruce. I saw you today. I saw your valiant efforts. I saw your passion and determination to help however you can. This is commendable. This is pleasing to the eyes and the soul, for this is Dominican. This is how we treat each other in times of crisis. This is what makes us strong and resilient. So, my dear Dominicans, do not ask why us. We shall play the hand we have been dealt. Let us consider for a moment that there are not many around us here in Dominica who can respond in the flick of an eye to a crisis such as this. Tonight, we have been thrown a challenge, and together we shall confront and overcome it. Please be safe on the roads out there. Please guard against live electricity wires. Do not go tampering. If in doubt, leave out. And so I want to say to us here in Dominica tonight that we are on the ball, and this government will respond as we have on many occasions to the impacts of natural disasters on the livelihoods, the lives, and our community.
Yes, so yesterday we had a lot of rain since the night before the rain started, and the rain was just consistently falling all throughout the night into the morning, and we had no power on from like 10, 11 a.m., no power at all. So when we walked around the community, there were people with flooding in their homes. We have a ton of landslide in the community. I can only speak for Concord. I haven't gone to the rest of the part of the territory. But Concord itself, there's a back road that connects to the rest of the Kalinago territory.
Horseback Ridge, that's this one there.
Yeah, it's a back road that passes through Concord to Horseback Ridge.
Okay.
And a lot of people use it if they don't want to pass through Atkinson. They pass here because it's quicker. And it connects to Sally Bear. But right now it has a major landslide. The land has stayed about 3 different spots. So nobody can pass there. It actually took a gentleman's house that was up there. He had a small house, and the landslide took his entire house and down into the palace. But he wasn't in there. He had moved out that evening, so he's lucky to not be in there. But we don't see any traces of his house. And the other part of Concord, which we call Ladby, that's the side where you have to drive in the river to get across into it. So people couldn't cross the river yesterday. And above them, where you have to drive through, is also blocked by another landslide. So the people who were in that particular part of Concord were kind of isolated, because by the river and then by a landslide put up the road.
As a matter of fact, I was told that the school, given not a tree or something, the school may have been seriously affected.
Oh yes, there was another big one that came from the hills. It followed a small stream, and it looked like the impact of the landslide when it hit the river. The pressure of it hit the school. It didn't hit the school itself, but hit the fences that outline the border of the school. So those are knocked down, as well as a small home over the wall is broken. But no one was injured. We can say that no one has been injured by what's been happening, thankfully. Got some people with some leaky roofs, some people pushing water out of the house. We still don't have electricity, and the service is very poor. So if you were trying to get me earlier this morning, you wouldn't have gotten me. It's only because I'm on the road right now.
Okay.
At an area where I can get service.
Well, tell me, Gary, I know, more importantly for you, you've been having a campaign with others, to save Desbois. What do you think are the lessons for Desbois for the authorities?
Oh, well, we went up there yesterday morning just because of the heavy rain to see how well the area was able to withstand the amount of water that Desbois can produce. And what we're seeing is that they don't have enough mitigation measures to control that amount of water. And we saw firsthand a ton of waterfalls. The retention wall had a crack through it. That water basically sprays out like a little waterfall. That's not by design. The wall is cracking. And so we also saw a lot of mud come from the Desbois site onto the road, so vehicles couldn't really pass there. Yesterday as well, because of all the water and all the potholes that were made in the road because of this project, some vehicles actually popped their tires because it's so flooded you can't see the potholes. People actually burst the tire on the road yesterday. But yeah, it's a tragic situation because right now the river itself, the water has gone down, but it's very muddy, and it shouldn't be this muddy after this type of rain.
But tell me, you're saying that the authorities should learn a lesson from this trough yesterday, given what happened in Desbois.
Well, yeah. It's just a proper representation to show that how much work still needs to be done in the area, and that the area is just a bad site to build such a project because of the amount of water that generates from there. You're talking about the headwater of a river, a major water system. So that's where you're going to get the most amount of water. And to be able to control that is going to cost a lot. So I think they should restructure their plan or find a new location.
So you're saying they should just stop it altogether?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, Gary, thank you. You keep us updated. I might try to find my way up there and get a better view of what is taking place there. I hope I get in touch with you when I get there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
From what I know, the highway from Bells, the highway has been cleared. You can't go through Atkinson because there's a few landslides in Atkinson. There's a landslide in Crayfish River. I think there's two in Crayfish River, and there's landslides in Concord. What I understand is they're clearing up the landslides on the highways. So you should be able to get up here, but not just, you might not be able to get in the territory as easy.
But what about the Horse Bridge Road, Ridge Road there? No clearing just yet?
No, because that's where we're at right now, and there's landslides.
Yesterday evening, I attempted to get into the Kalinago territory itself. I passed through the Castleberth. Well, I attempted to pass through Castleberth, and when I got near Castleberth, there was a major slide. I noticed that a Domlek pole was broken, and there was a lot of rubble across the road. Well, primarily dirt and plants, and the road was impassable. So I made a turn and went through Bells. So I passed back through Pocassi, got to the roundabout and passed through Bells. And of course, as I went along the journey, there were small surface running waters in the areas. There were small slides. I successfully went through Bells, got to Concord, and attempted to get to the Kalinago territory through the Horseback Reach. But when I got to a certain point on Horseback Reach, again, there was a major slide. And the slide apparently occurred in an area where a Kalinago brother had his place of residence. He had a small house. I happened to see him on the other side of the landslide, but the slide was that huge. I wasn't properly attired, and the soils were very deep, so I couldn't walk across. There were also other persons from Concord in that area because a vehicle got washed away. But praise God, that resident was saved. I don't know how he was saved. He has a story to tell, but his house got washed away, vanished, I guess, under the rubble. So after that attempt to get to KT through Horseback Reach was unsuccessful, I made a third attempt whereby I went on to Pegua, and I crossed the bridge and drove up near Antrizo. But again, there was a major slide, and I had to park and walked across the first slide. At that slide, I did meet the Minister of Communication and Works, the Honorable Grant. I passed that slide and then went down into Antrizo, where I met a number of residents, some of whom I spoke with, and I continued my journey, hoping to get into KT Mat. But I came across a second slide, and near that second slide had a truck which was submerged, where half of the truck really was submerged in water and soil. So I can only imagine some excavation will need to happen around that truck for its relief. And then I noticed that a number of houses along the road in Antrizo were flooded. So anyway, I continued hoping to get into Atkinson and then KT, but I came across a third slide, Matt, and at that point I decided I wasn't going to attempt to cross that slide. And I'm not too sure whether anybody had attempted to cross it. So I decided my journey to KT had ended. But nonetheless, I got the opportunity to meet people of Concord and Antrizo, and had conversations with them, and I witnessed some of the damage that was done in Antrizo. The damage is significant, Matt. Some people, of course, lost their houses to the slides, and some houses were flooded. I can only imagine people would have lost material things and their documents. One gentleman whose house was underwater mentioned to me that he had lost his passports and other materials. He did not have time to take the important documents. He just basically flew from the house. So praise God, his life is saved. In all of the damage, Matt, there was no fatalities, and we have to be grateful for that. It could be much worse. And I can only imagine how tragic and how difficult it is for those who lost their homes, especially in the Atkinson area. I'm hoping that I will get to KT today, and I will get the opportunity to speak with those who suffered one loss or the other, and to show them that I care and that we care. We care as individuals, as a community, and as a nation. So at this hour, Matt, it's just about, reaching out to those who have been affected on the entire northeastern.
Have you had a chance to speak to the Carib chief just yet? I tried, but no dice.
No, Matt. As we speak, there is no electricity in the Kalinago territory, and it appears that the towers, which allows for telephone signals, may have been affected as well, because whilst I was up in Antrusa, there was some difficulties in getting service. So I did speak with Mr. Claudius, the president of United Workers' Party, yesterday morning when there was electricity. He was giving me a report as to what was happening. And I had also spoken with residents in Katy, giving me reports. But once the electricity was gone, our communication was cut off.
So it will be difficult to communicate at this time because, as you said, all communications were down yesterday evening.
Yes, that is correct, Matt.
But tell me, a lot of people are commenting on the Desbois situation there. What did you notice when you passed in that area? Because I saw a lot of videos about Desbois.
Yeah, well, right. When I passed at Desbois yesterday evening, there was some activity taking place. I saw some heavy equipment clearing the road, and clearly there was some soil creep and soil flow. There was flooding along the road, so whatever mitigation activities that took place, whatever mitigation that was done or attempted to be done to prevent flooding and surface runoff, water runoff, and soil erosion clearly did not work. So I am sure there will be.
So you're saying there may be some lessons for the authorities given the storm?
Man, I didn't get that question. My apologies. I'm driving.
I said, so there may be some lessons for the authorities given Desbois as it relates to Desbois with that big storm yesterday.
Yeah, well, yes, Matt. I didn't get the first part of the question, but I did.
I said some lessons for the authorities. Some lessons for the authorities.
Oh, yes, Matt. Definitely. It's there are several lessons, not just for Desbois, but for the entire nation. I am not too sure how serious the disaster committee would have taken that trough. I'm not too sure any warning was given to the residents in the northeastern part of Dominica. Of course, we would have been informed there would be rain, but I'm not too sure how many persons anticipated that persistent heavy shower which took place. So that's a lesson that we are to pay very close attention to the weather and always be mindful that we are heading for the hurricane season, and our aptitude, our desire to know what's happening must be heightened as far as the weather is concerned, to pay attention to weather reports and always be ready. Now, as far as the government is concerned and the authorities are concerned, Matt, more needs to be done. One of the lessons that was learned is, it would appear, again, I'm not an engineer, but you're hearing the talks on the ground, that the way in which the road network in certain areas, as you know, there has been rehabilitation of the roads from Pocassi up to Hatton Garden. And certain areas of the roads that were cut may not have been cut in a way to really mitigate slides, or may have been done in such a way that the area is vulnerable to slides. And of course, the certain culverts were blocked. So those are lessons that we have to learn. We have to be mindful that we live in a disaster vulnerable island, and every action or inaction that we take in respect to the environment must keep in mind whether we are making the land more vulnerable to landslides or not. So to me, that's a lesson and a reminder to the authorities. And it tells us more why we have to be careful in what we are doing at Desbois. Because as you know, Matt, deforestation and excavation of the land definitely makes it more susceptible to slides, like what happened yesterday. And those who have been fighting for saving Desbois will be even more inspired to stand up for the environment.
I'm in the Bataka area.
All right, Dominic, we'll come back to Mr. Thompson, but at this time, live, we're attempting to speak to Mr. Carlisle Jombabde, who is of course, the communication officer with the office of the ODM. They're down in the Castlebruce area at this point in time. Let's see if we can make connection. Carlisle, what is happening on the ground as we speak?
Hi, Matt. Hi, Dominica. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to the rest of the Eastern Caribbean. I am, yes, in the Casibus area. I am coming from as far as, let me tell you, Mau River. I also met with the Prime Minister. He has an entourage coming across there. But the situation is not the best. In case I lose you, I may lose your signal. But the situation is not the best. In the Kalinago territory, it is terrible over there. Number of slides. We've seen about 15 or so slides. And in an interview with me, the Prime Minister did indicate that from the assessment thus far, it looks like it will cost millions of dollars. We went also to the Calix Bridge. You would be aware of the situation in Casibus and the Calix Bridge. We are now going to head across to the Marigot area because, as you quite rightly said, the Office of Disaster Management, we are combing the country to see what sort of impact the trough had on the country and the amount of damage which has happened thus far. And as I said to you earlier on, from what we've seen thus far, it is extremely damaging from the area of the Kalinago community down to Siniku. We had to walk. I walked about an hour and a half to actually meet the other set of persons with the Prime Minister. So that is just to show you the distance and what is happening in that area. And I can tell you that the people in the Kalinago territory, they have suffered the brunt of the damage of this trough that happened yesterday.
Kale, we saw in some videos some houses were severely impacted there. Have you seen that live there?
I have seen a lot of things, man, but the people in that area does not have water. There's no water. There's no electricity. It's kind of depressing, Matt, if you may want to put it that way. I've seen houses on the brink of going down. So persons had to relocate, and we, as I speak with you, I just moved across another major landslide because, like I said to you, we cannot pass, so we have to do a lot of walking to get ourselves out of the situation, and you have to know where to walk to, where to drive, because it's not an easy situation for the people of the Kalinago territory. They are going to be without water for a little while. We met officials of Domlec somewhere across when we were moving across, but they are working, but in terms of getting people, and the Prime Minister did mention that his main aim is to try to clear the slides and also to try to see as much as possible if he can get students to school. That is a Herculean task. We just have to wait and see how it is going to happen. But it is a lot of damage done in the country. From what, although the Prime Minister did say that he cannot quantify it as yet, but from what he said to me in an interview, he said it looks like in the millions of dollars.
Carla John Baptist, thank you very much. We'll try to update the listeners sometime later again. Thank you, Carla John Baptist, attached to the office of the ODM West Communication Officer on the ground there in the Kalinago territory. Thank you very much again. Let's continue our documentary this morning as we hear the voice of Thompson Fontaine. We'll join him in a little while to give us a live report. Let's continue at this time.
Just actually came through the Horseback Ridge Road. I don't know if you're familiar with this road.
Very familiar.
But I had to park the way all the way in Concord and walk up because there are 4 slides. So I had to literally traverse 4 slides on the road, on the Horseback Ridge Road to get to that point. And I'm heading towards the Antrizal area. But in between, Matt, we have met persons who have had some serious damage.
Okay.
To their homes and so on. And it is quite an issue here.
So the situation, you're saying the situation is bad up there?
Yes, man, it is very bad. I can tell you, for example, that our own president, Claudia Sanford, who is actually with me now, his home is completely gone, totally cracked up, and
you're serious?
Unlivable right now. Yes, and there are other people like that in the area whose homes have been damaged, either cracked up or undermined. The Kalinago not the resource center, but another building there in the Kalinago territory, we saw it is being severely undermined. literally, and it's quite likely that it may have to be abandoned. And there are other houses like that in the area. So it seems to be quite a major unfolding situation there in the Kalinago territory.
As a matter of fact, I just spoke to your international secretary who told me he's in Antrizal. Is he around your area as well? No?
Yes, well, I'm heading towards him. We are going to link up. He came from the other direction.
Okay.
So I'm heading towards him now. We are going to meet up so that we can do some joint work along with Claudius, who is here with me.
Let me talk.
Claudius is here with me.
Let me talk to Claudius so he can give me an assessment there. I think he may have seen a little more than you have. Claudius, are you there?
Hey, Matt, morning. How are you?
Morning to you. Sorry to hear what's going on with you there and your family. What can you tell us in terms of the assessment you have picked up for the past few hours?
Well, Matt, it is very concerning. It is a disaster that we didn't. A lot of the damage is due to soil movement.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of landslides along the main road. A lot of land movement on the east coast of the reservation and the Atkinson area.
Mm-hmm.
As you would have seen with the people in Atkinson,
mm-hmm.
relatively flat land that just moved and caused a lot of damage to the houses. I feel the pain of Frankie and Reds, the two who have lost their house, and also my good friend Mr. Laura as well, from Akalaron and all the Lavilles, Toots Laville and the others. All those, they have suffered, tremendous loss, indirectly and directly.
Mm-hmm. But Dr. Fontaine told me too, you have been severely impacted.
Yes, in two areas, we had our organization had a small office on the roadside next to the library.
Mm-hmm.
So a landslide went down, and the building is
compromised.
It's standing, but severely. I think it's compromised unless some serious work is done there. Where we need some technical people to advise on that. But my own dwelling home, the land has moved, and my yard is totally cracked up. The walls of the house have begun shifting from overnight. We evacuated yesterday. Went back this morning to assess. When I left yesterday, the walls were not cracked, but when I got back this morning, there were cracks in the wall, and the floor has been open. There's a split in the floor.
Wow.
So I'm there. Well, my wife and I, we're trying to contemplate what's our next move.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get out of there. It's not safe. We need to move our stuff and so on. But yeah, we will do that in due time.
Mm-hmm.
But there are other people who suffered major losses. There's a couple of my neighbors who their little business place was totally damaged by a landslide, and there are other people who has their homes were flooded, and slides came resting at the doorsteps. So it's a lot to take in this morning. I'm very happy that my political leader is proactive and is on the scene. This morning he had to walk up the back road from Concord. So
that's a serious hike there. Yes, for sure.
Yes, nice little hike, and he was able to see the damage along the way with the slides. And we are now heading towards the Atkinson area, where I think the major damages took place. So there we're heading there, and we'll update you.
Okay, I plan to come up there maybe sometime in the next few hours. So as I hope that I can join you guys there as you, of course, try to get a survey.
Yeah. For sure. There's some backhoe doing some work on the road. They're facing difficulties. I met some of the guys this morning. They don't have the access to a truck because a lot of these slides you cannot just throw the soil immediately. Next to the road. There are people home, so you really need trucks to move the soil.
Mm-hmm.
And they were facing some of those difficulties because of this side. They really have trucks, and I don't think we have access to the Chinese truck in Wesley. They're the ones that have all the projects and all the trucks.
Mm-hmm.
It just shows the weaknesses of our planning in those cases. If all people were empowered, then would have them at hand to assist in those times. But so be it, Matt. Dominicans have to maybe see it to know it.
Mm-hmm.
So we have been mobilized from yesterday, myself, my wife, and others in the community. Some of the young guys like Leroy and Kerry Barry, and these guys have been using their pickup trucks to move the back operators from one end to the end the other as much as they could, and get Brian Barry, compliments to him. I must single him out for his backhoe on the move already from last night.
Okay.
But to get the trucks across is difficult because some of the slides from the north end is numerous slides. So we need a truck from the vicinity, in the Kalinago area, but we don't have many of those. So that is a little difficulty, but we'll overcome.
Yes.
God is good, and we believe that He'll clear the way for us.
But somebody suggesting that you bring some structural engineers to speak on the soil tests and drainage for property owners. Sometime I guess in the near future. Yeah.
Definitely. We tried to reach out to a couple of engineers that we could within our party branch and our link. But the area is difficult, and we're hoping that we can get that. But I also am aware that the Prime Minister and his team may be up in the territory right now.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure they have all the expertise with them, both local and international, which they seem to be very good at. So let us see if they have those expertise with them today.
Okay.
We're on the roll. We're on the roll. It's a pleasure to connect with you again, and stay connected. I pass you back on to
Mr. Fontaine, Dr. Fontaine.
Yes, man. Thanks.
So what's the next move right now?
Well, Matt, it's interesting. When I came from my village this morning, drove up, and I counted about 5 small slides.
Mm-hmm.
One could call to be a moderate slide. So in a sense, we were kind of fortunate that it was really small movements for us on that side, on the eastern side of the island.
Okay.
So the traffic is able to move back and forth, which is really good. So I was able to get as far. But I think what's important going forward, Matt, we have to think more seriously about how we can mitigate against those types of occurrences. These will happen more frequently. Imagine we're not even in the hurricane season. This is in the middle of the currents, in the middle of the hot season that we have this activity.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine what is possibly coming down the road during the rainy season, which starts in June. So we have to begin to think proactively on how we can mitigate, how we can look again at the assessment of where people build,
mm-hmm.
What kind of measures they should take if they're building in those areas. All of that must be taken very, very seriously. And we've seen the kind of damage. And also when we build, we saw that the villages of Sansove, Good Hope, and Petit Soufriere, they have all been cut off because there is no other road. One bridge goes, and there is no access. Years the government says they were building this road between Petit Soufriere and Rosalie. At least if this road was open, that would have allowed some access for the residents there. But now they're literally stuck in the villages, cannot move because of that. So, there's a lot of work that needs to be done as far as the overall infrastructure, the way we build our bridges,
mm-hmm.
the way we ensure that there is egress. You have to have options for people to be able to exit. So, for example, we know that the Kuluk area is through. Imagine if there was some kind of landslide in that area, you needed to evacuate people. They would be stuck.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to look very closely at this, and I hope that is a wake-up call for us all, especially as we prepare, for the hurricane season.
Mr. Thompson Fontaine, the leader of the United Workers' Party, with his president, Mr. Sanford.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can, reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place.
And I think you're just connected to the International Secretary, TC. Good morning to you. You're in the Andrewsville area. What can you tell us?
Yeah, I drove up from Wesley, and Margot, they are clearing the road by the bayfront.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to drive up through the bypass and come down through the dam area. But they're doing a pretty good work cleaning up there right now. I drove into Andrewsville, and it was a bit difficult. The Chinese are on the first major slide cleaning it. I was able to get through with some level of difficulty, but I was able to get there. And then further up into Andrewsville, well, there's a major blockage.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to park there, and there's no work being done on that right now. The the Chinese are working below, and then I had to park by that blockage, walk over it, and come up a little right before Atkinson area, and there is another major blockage there. They are working on that, but as Claudius indicated, there's an issue of getting rid of the dirt material, because the only option is to throw it over the side, and that is right now not a very good option. I think there's a lady's property down there, and she's not too happy about all the dirt and trees being dumped on her property. But they are working it, and they are pushing aside. They have some chainsaws cutting down the trees and clearing the way. And from the looks of it, it looks like the road is cleared all the way up to that area. So once those two major areas are cleared, the traffic will be able to flow through the Atkinson and Antrisville area.
Okay. Well, I just spoke to your leader, Mr. Thompson Fontaine, who said you guys will be joining up in the next few minutes, and
yes,
you'll be able to provide a further update.
Yes, Dr. Fontaine and the president, Dr. Mr. Sanford,
yes,
they are on their way to join me here, and then from there we'll go ahead and together take a look at what's going on all through the rest of the territory.
My sympathy goes out to those who have been affected by the weather system that has passed through. But Matt Peltier, with the incidents that happened with the houses, I'm surprised more of that has not happened in the past. And why I'm saying that is because we in Dominica have a lot of sloping land, and the soils are not of the competent material, meaning that it's deeply weathered and it's not consolidated or cemented. And when you build houses on those, especially on a slope, you put a heavy house on there, you add in what is called a load to that slope. And anytime it rains, a lot of rains reduces the frictional forces that hold the soil together. And more than likely, you're going to have land slippage. So there is a science behind it. There is a technicality behind it. And when you're doing construction, there are engineering controls that can be employed if you want to build on slopes. And that is where planning division should come in. And the people who are approving the location of houses, there are certain things that has to be done to the land to prevent or lower the risk of land slippage and your house slipping. So if you're going to build a house on a slope, there are things like terracing, there are things like diverting the water channels, because the water reduces the friction, especially when it's waterlogged. So there are lots of stuff, Matt Peltier, that can be done if the only land you have is sloping land. And in this new era of global climate change, where we have increased rainfall, high intensity of rainfall, when you remove forest vegetation, you actually causing more water to go directly to the soil, because there's not that canopy barrier or the roots in the ground that hold that soil together. So, Matt, we just need to understand that nature will do what it has to do. At the same time, if we're going to mess with our landform, if we're going to mess with our sloping conditions, we have to have engineering controls and factoring for water and the damage water can cause. As I have pointed out in past conversations, landslides and flash floods have been the largest cause of death in natural disasters in Dominica. And apparently we don't seem to understand or we don't seem to learn, but hopefully, people, the people who are technically savvy, the people who have been schooled in engineering and so on, will make their voices be heard and do things right at Peltier. That's why those initial surveys are important.
It appears there are a number of teams on the ground. I was just talking there to Dr. Thompson Fontaine, who made it through the Carib of the Kalinago territory. And the last I heard, it was in the Castle Bruce area So the Prime Minister is going the other way. He's going to Castlebrose, traversed the many roads. Dr. Fontaine, are you there? Dr. Fontaine, are you there?
Yes, Matt, I am. Good afternoon.
Sorry about that. We seem to be going in and out. We have signal issues there. What can you tell us
Okay, Matt.
since we left you this morning?
I'm wondering, I'll call you directly because the reception is not very good. There are no lights in the area, and the reception is going in and out.
Well, I'm getting a little bit better now, so keep talking. Keep
Okay,
talking.
let's see.
Yes.
Okay, all right, great. Okay.
So you were saying?
Yes, so Matt,
Thompson, you still there?
yes, I was so lost. I'm able to see with Mr. Yes, Matt, I'm talking, but you can't hear me.
I'm hearing you now. I'm
Yeah.
hearing you now. Go ahead. Hello? I suspect you may have to call me directly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We'll await your call. Dr. Fontaine has made it through the Kalinago territory all the way to Castle Bruce. And I'm hoping they can connect so he can give us a full report. We heard Calvin Baptist, of course, traveling with the ODM team in that area. According to him, when he spoke to the Prime Minister earlier, in terms of assessing the damage, it's millions and millions of dollars. I'm sure we'll hear further. Let's see if we can take a call. Are you there, caller? Yes?
Yes, Matt, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. I could connect with you. What can you tell us since we spoke this morning? What have you found out?
Matt, well, it was visiting with the families that have been impacted so adversely by yesterday's event. We were able to meet with Mr. Ogis, one of the house owners there, as well as a gentleman by the name of Red. And in fact, we found out that this gentleman who lost his home was a victim of the not Bagatelle, but the Spirit Savan disaster, and relocated to the Kalinago territory and had that happen to him. So he lost his home and the bakery that he had in that area. And we also met a number of other persons who were impacted. One gentleman who said that he lost about 3 acres of passion fruit that he had just planted. Huge landslide in that area took out all of his crops. And there are many persons like that, individuals. We met another couple right down in the Kalinago territory who actually their home, all of this stuff came into the house. It actually came into the home, the dirt and so on, but they were able to escape. Thankfully, there were no injuries. We're very happy that nobody got injured, but we were able to sympathize with them and spend some time with them. So very happy for that.
So where are you now as we speak?
Heading on my way to Castlebrose. Just left a minute ago because I had to traverse coming back, I had to traverse again the landslide on the Horseback Ridge Road. Those have not been cleared. Wanted to go to Castlebrose for the Kalinago territory, but again,
But you have not gone to the other side. The way I was told was affected there, going up in the San Sofe area there. You have not gotten to that point, no?
No.
There are signal issues there, and I do understand what is going on. But again, Dr. Fontaine, thank you. If any update, we'll find out a little later. And that was Dr. Thompson Fontaine with his team speaking to what he experienced on his way. I spoke to him sometime this morning. If you're out there, you heard my voice and you need to share, please give us a call. Although we are experiencing some technical issues, especially in the east at this time.
Good afternoon, Matt. Our government now, they are not dealing with culverts. All of that causing all that problem. When I used to work in the ministry, Matt, that was our prime objective, to maintain culverts. But there's another disaster waiting to happen in Miro. Remember when the time the Hector guy died, the football coach, he died in Pocas area? Something like that, God forbid, going to happen in Miro. The culvert is damaged below, and up till now, the government cannot address it. That's years now. There's a disaster waiting to happen. The government not taking on those things. They're not. They get rid of maintenance division. They put NEP, planting flowers, cleaning the side of the road, not taking care of culverts and things. We'll always have those disasters. So I calling on the Minister of Works to start to get on the ground, get people that are competent, and let's get that work going on. Until that happens, we're going to continue to have those disasters with culverts being blocked.
Said you didn't need her. You told her goodbye. You sacrificed the good love to satisfy your pride. You wish that you should have her. And you feel like such a fool. You let her walk away. Now you just don't feel the feeling. Gotta blame it on something.
I'm sure we'll get full reports by the end of the afternoon. I did say I was going to head up there. I'm still waiting for my ride at this point. In the meantime, in between time,
You can blame it on the rain. You should have told her you were already. You said you were wrong. But no, you couldn't do that. No. You had to prove you were strong. Oh, if you hadn't been so blind, might still be there with you. You want her back again, but you just don't feel the
you can blame it on the rain.
blame it on the rain that was falling. Blame it on the stars that shine that night. Whatever you do, don't put it on you. Blame it on rain don't care. You got to blame it on something. Blame it on the rain, yeah. Rain, yeah.
We are monitoring the situation there, specifically in the Kalinago country. Huh? All reports it appears that they've been battered there in the Carib territory. Just in case you were wondering, it was I'm still here, still waiting for my rider to take me to the territory where I'm hoping to do some interviews on the ground. I'm still here though.
Still be back with you. You won't hurt back again. But you just don't feel the same. Gotta blame it on something. Gotta blame it on something. Blame it on the rain that was falling, falling. Blame it on the stars that shine that night. Whatever you do, don't put the blame on you. Blame it on the rain, yeah. Come on and blame it on the rain. And the rain don't care. You got to blame it on something. Blame it on the rain, yeah. The rain, yeah. Blame it on the rain. 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 On the rain that was falling, blame it on the stars that shine at night. Whatever you do, don't put the blame on you. Blame it on the rain, yeah. Blame it on the rain.
Blame it on the rain. Blame it on the rain. There's 2:35 in the afternoon. They're still within, for pickup to get to the Kalinago territory this time. Hello, yes.
Good afternoon. You know, the more I listen to the people reported to you, Matt, on this disaster on the East Coast, the more I understand how this lazy government ain't no good. And what they are good at giving people excuses and lies, man. Let's deal with.
For some reason, you got
Gentleman called it this morning about the El Nino effect that they've been talking about. Up here in America, they've been talking about that from the early spring when that start to come in effect, and they've been talking about how the wet pattern gonna be really devastating in certain areas, man. And listening to what's taking place right now is an effect of part of all this deforestation. You know, like Lennon told you this morning, deforestation, doing works willy-nilly with no proper study and nothing, just take a dose and tear up some over there, just like when they took Gadakan over top of Emerald Pool. Then you have the people depending on Chinese, and when they're done, they say, well, people don't want to work. You get rid of public works department, and you take and you privatize, or you give it to a communist government to do all the work and have your people sitting around. So any disaster, they have not The gentleman told you. He told you they have no truck. All truck is Chinese. So if the Chinese want to cut style and you done, what kind of government is this? Is ridiculous. You know, this kind of nonsense where you listen to this and this lazy, dependent government has a dependency mentality. When disasters like that strike, it shows the underbelly of this kind of nonsense, man. And these are the things that I think about listening to what you've been playing all afternoon and the people I heard this morning, man. The country cannot go on like this, man. And it's regional. This kind of thing has to stop, and people must wake up to the condition that they are living in, because a lot of them fall for it. And they let it continue because they support it. And when he done, he talks about them too. How they lazy, they can't do this, that. Put on any in a dead-end job, you can't make a life, you can't do nothing, man. These things are really disturbing when you listen to it, man. You know, and it's all people's fault for not standing up.
No, you couldn't do that. No. You were strong. Oh, you hadn't been blinded. Might still be there with you. You won't hurt back again. But you just don't feel the same. Gotta blame it on something.
Hey, love, thank you. Thank you for the boots, huh?
Whatever you do, don't put the blame on you. Blame it on the rain, yeah. Come on and blame it on the rain. And the rain don't care. You got to blame it on something. Blame it on the rain, yeah. Whatever you do, don't put the blame on you. Blame it on the rain, yeah. Blame it on the rain.
Rachel in charge, somebody in the territory today.
Sometimes in our life, we all have sorrow. If we are well, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're strong. I'll be your friend. I'll let you carry on for you won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Swallow your pride if I have pain. You need to borrow brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call me brother when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean on. It's a load you have to bear that you can't carry. I'm trying to know. I'm sure you know. You just call me. Call me if you need a friend.
Just like that, the jackpot gets bigger. Dominica, the wait is finally over. Match 5 is officially here. Will your 5 numbers be the lucky ones? You can win over $10,000 every Wednesday and Saturday. Don't miss out on a chance to win big every week with the new Match 5. Tickets are available at any DNL agent island-wide.
Dean Fraser, one of the big artists to present this weekend. We are monitoring the reports out of the Kalinago territory. In the meantime, in between time, Mr. Dean Fraser, saxophonist. He'll be on the lineup there for this weekend. The Jazz Festival. Boom! Just like that, the jackpot gets
gets bigger. Dominica, the wait is finally over. Match 5 is officially here. Will your 5 numbers be the lucky ones? You can win over $10,000 every Wednesday and Saturday. Don't miss out on a chance to win big every week with the new Match 5. Tickets are available at any DNL agent island-wide.
Indulge in an evening of timeless elegance at Jazz and Wine on the Rooftop, where elegance meets the skyline. On April 29th from 4:30 p.m. Join us at the Blast Bistro Rooftop and elevate away for an atmosphere where smooth jazz, fine wines, and exquisite cuisine come together under the open sky. Fine wine, smooth jazz, perfect vibes. Experience live entertainment, elevated flavors, and effortless sophistication. Unwind above it all. Jazz and Wine on the Rooftop. Brought to you by Blast Bistro and Pirates Limited. An experience.
Now this one is called the Skate Down the Killer.
We've been having some signal issues from the northeast, so we've been having some problems connecting. But before we wrap up, let's play some voice notes. Before we wrap up in the afternoon. Hello. Yes.
To you, good afternoon to your listeners. Firstly, I'd like to express my solidarity with the people who have suffered damage and loss as a result of these events. Extremely sad occasion for so many people. But I think at this point in time, what needs to happen is that we need to reflect on the realities of our Dominica today. The planning division, as Len said this morning, has a key role to play in ensuring that these things either do not happen or that the occasions in which they happen are minimized, minimal. This is one of the reasons why plans must go through the planning division, and the planning division must assess properly the locations where buildings are being put and the size of these buildings, the suitability of the area for that sort of thing, and so on and so forth and so forth. And the fact that the Kainabo territory has been hit so badly hopefully will sensitize the people to the fact that they have to raise their voices to ensure that things are done properly, things are done according to law, in order to protect them and their properties and their neighborhoods and the country on a whole. We Dominicans throughout Dominica need to learn lessons from this. When you have forested areas and you deforest, you cut down trees indiscriminately, down trees without thinking about the importance of the trees and the root systems that the trees have in holding up soil. These things will happen. It is very counterproductive to cut all bigger trees down in order to open up land for you to plant without thinking about ensuring that you have trees with roots in strategic areas to ensure that you do not get slippage of land. And debauch is a massive concern, because if debauch was left to the intentions of this government and the Chinese company working with them on the airport, for them to simply do what they wished without any resistance from the people, we might have found that debauch should have been a catastrophic event after this sort of rainfall, because they would have taken down a lot more forest, a lot more trees than they did up until the point when they got resistance from certain groups. And that would have exposed the land to that heavy rainfall with no protection whatsoever, and with limited or no root systems to hold the soil in place. And so we could have ended up with massive amounts of slippage of soil coming down from the mountainside down towards the road and down towards the rivers. And so planning should be reflecting on this whole situation now and ensuring that they recognize the importance of their department, and that they regroup and refocus on on their responsibilities and the protection that they have under the law to act to ensure that they safeguard the country and its land, its property, its infrastructure through the mechanisms that have been made available to them at planning under the law. So I would just leave that there. I don't want to talk too much, but I think that this definitely has to be a time of reflection. And hopefully this event will bring our people together to stand to protect our environment more than we do at this point, and to recognize the importance of it as well.
Hey, Mervin, this one for you. And that's how we wrap it up until the signals get better in the east. Chasing this crazy ball of town. Dean Fraser featuring Bob Marley.